Thomas and Friends, Sodor Sings Together is pretty fun. This was released in 2025. It's directed by Campbell Bryer. It's written by Craig Carlisle, with a voice cast including Elliott, Garcia, Henry Harrison, Shaun, Jemmett, Oliver Milchard, Ava Ro, Sade Smith, and Charlie Zeltzer. And I will say I don't love the animation style. If I'd never seen Thomas before, I guess it would be fun. It's a little garish, but it works well enough. But obviously the classic Thomas and even some of the more recent feature-length films from this century are not too bad. This animation style is quite different. I don't love it, but I can overlook that. Sodor is having a music festival, so everybody has to get things ready and take responsibility for their own tasks. And of course, there are unforeseen obstacles that they have to overcome. As a story, it works well. There are lots of great takeaways in this, including working together, working towards a goal, working hard, trying not to panic when things don't go as expected, or indeed when time is of the essence. It's definitely a children's film, and that's not a criticism, just an observation. The animation, as I said, in general, it's nice. There are a lot of bright, bold colours. Visually, it's very engaging. The movements of the trains all look very good. But if you grew up with Thomas, or if you're more familiar with the earlier styles, it is very different, and it doesn't really feel like Thomas, so that is certainly worth bearing in mind. But judging it purely on its own, it absolutely, other than being a little garish at times, there's nothing wrong with it. Lots of attention to detail, sweet character designs, really nice colours. The music is very good, which is not a surprise, considering it's called Sodor Sings Together. The voice acting is very good, and in general, if you grew up with Thomas and you like musical-based films, absolutely give it a go, you might enjoy it. If you're a new Thomas fan and you are already familiar with this style, then certainly give it a go. But certainly bear in mind as well, if you are more familiar with the original Thomas or some of the older Thomases, it doesn't necessarily feel like Thomas. It does in terms of the character writing. The trains obviously are familiar in that regard, but it doesn't have that nostalgic feel to it. So it is different, but judging on its own, absolutely fine. Thomas and Friends, Sodor Sings Together is certainly not a bad experience.